Coming up on Network Africa, Kenyan police raid school in a counter-terrorism operation in Madrasa. And scuffles mar Uganda's parliament debate on extension of controversial presidential age limit bill. Plus, aid agencies say the crisis in the DRC is the worst so far in 2017. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Bisi Adebayo. We'll begin in South Africa, where a strong ally of defeated presidential candidate Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Ace Magashule, remains the newly elected Secretary General of the African National Congress after a vote recount of missing votes. Magashule won by 9 votes after a rival candidate, Senzo Mchunu, was allocated an additional 15 votes. According to local media, ANC's election was challenged by supporters of Mchunu, an ally of the new leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, who lost by 24 votes. The alleged votes from 68 delegates at the ANC conference in Johannesburg had gone missing. And it's a sad one, as at least 2 people have been killed after fire ripped through a nightclub in the lakeside city of Kisumu in western Kenya. Rescue workers say several others escaped with injuries of various degrees as firefighters battled the early morning blaze. According to the Kisumu County Police Commander, John Kamau, 4 people were safely evacuated from the nightclub when the blaze started, and he believes that many could still be trapped in the debris. Witnesses say the fire started on the first floor of the building, which has more than a dozen guest rooms. The cause of the fire is yet to be established, although the police suspect an electrical fault. And staying in Kenya, the police have raided an Islamic school and arrested 2 teachers in what they say is a counter-terrorism operation by foreign law enforcement agencies. The police also took about 100 children into protective custody. A police source told journalists that the operation was sparked by intelligence information that both foreign and local children were being indoctrinated with militant ideology in the school located in Mombasa. According to reports, the institution has been monitored for a long time. A senior official in the umbrella body for Kenya's religious leaders in Mombasa confirmed the operation but denied any evidence of illegal activity. Kenya has suffered repeated deadly attacks from Somali Islamist extremists in recent years. And the United Nations has given the go-ahead to Somali refugees in Kenya who want to go home. This comes despite many families saying debts accumulated to feed their children after cuts in rations are forcing them to return to a war zone. The High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, said this while visiting the Dadaab refugee camp in northern Kenya. In October, a funding crisis forced the UN World Food Programme to cut basic food rations and cash in Dadaab, housing nearly 240,000 refugees by 50%.
Don't give up on Dadaab now. The population, the people of this camp continue to need help, even if there are some possibilities of repatriation. Many people don't want to take those opportunities now. They should be free not to take those opportunities and to continue to be protected and assisted here. I think we have learned a lesson here over the past 25 years. This model of having refugees closed in a closed camp in an area that has needs by itself is not a good model. We need to think otherwise. We need to think in the future, as we're doing in Kalobeye, the other side of Kenya, for the South Sudanese, into more open solutions where people have access to services and to the economy, and we reinforce those services as opposed to creating a whole parallel system for the refugees. Because that parallel system which we have here shows its weaknesses, especially after 25, 30 years. Not to forget
In the meantime, the United Nations plans to send up to 10,000 illegal migrants out of Libya next year, but only if the situation in their country has changed. The head of the refugee agency, UNHCR, Mr. Roberto Mangoni, says the agency has been repatriating migrants to African countries willing to take them back and is also in talks with European countries and Canada to take them in. 44,306 people have been registered as refugees and asylum seekers in Libya. Libya is the main departure point for migrants fleeing poverty or war to Europe by boat.
Repatriation of refugees can occur only if the situation in their country of origin has changed. For example, somebody comes from a country at war, if there is peace, they can return. But in most countries that the refugees are coming here, the situation is still difficult, so they cannot return home. Also, we have planned to send them to third countries, right? To Europe, to Canada, to other places. So this week, we are going to send out of Libya 350 refugees. Before the end of January, we will send out at least 1,000. And in 2018, we are planning to send out of Libya between 5,000 and 10,000 refugees. Particularly, we will give priority to the most vulnerable: women, children, elderly, disabled, persons who have suffered very serious